So, the four of you stand amid a crowd of guild applicants. The air is buzzing with excitement as the vessel moves ever forward towards its destination, your destination, an outer satellite of Phaeton Lambda, future home to a new minor stasis dome. The chatter of your fellow applicants is cut short. Listen up! The voice comes from a half-elf, average in height and build, adorned with long red hair held in a braid, with an eye patch over his left eye. Those of you outside the martial branch may not know me, so we'll make this introduction quick. I'm Captain Varric Torrens, and I'll be your expedition leader for the reclamation mission. Lambda's guild hall is a little short-handed at the moment, which is why we're lending our aid, and using this as an opportunity for your application exam. The reconnaissance team has finished their initial scan and selected a new location for the dome's tower. Once the tower has hit landfall and is active, it'll be up to us to secure the area. He takes a brief pause and gestures to the map beside him. Scans indicate a large cluster of tunnels that have been sealed off and may actually sustain life. Tower landfall will surely break these open, so your mission is recon. Each squad will have an active guild member and relay information back to base and report the progress and how well you did. Now, this area was once home to several goblin clans, pre-shattering, including the Stoneblood and Iron Fang clans, and he gestures to two goblins behind them, and they in turn greet you all. Because of this, we believe the tunnels might actually belong to their ancestors, and there may be some remnants of them. That means that this is a diplomacy mission first, and aggression outside of self-defense is not an option. Are there any questions? He kind of stares off at you. Everyone in the crowd is a little silent. He goes, all right, well, now, tower landfall is in 20. Team and squad members are going to be handed out, or team and squad numbers are going to be handed out, and once you receive yours, find your team and squad and wait for further instructions. So several figures kind of start moving through the crowd of applicants, and they're handing out numbers. Ember, Hana, Valindra, Roga. Your names get called and a token placed in your hands. It's emerald in color with a 7 carved into it. Once the figures are done handing out the tokens, and you begin to hear callouts. Science Squad, teams 2, 5, 9. Onyx Squad, members for team 3 and 8. Emerald Squad, teams 3, 5, 7, report. You all move towards the voice calling for the group and recognize a familiar, or what should be a familiar face. For in front of you stands another half-elf with fiery red hair and the same build as Vark, but this one has her hair short and an eye patch over her right eye. As you gather, she begins counting. 10, 11, 12. Good, all right. You're all here and accounted for. Before anything, yes, I am Varric's older sister, Forge Master Milia, and I'll be your proctor and support for this mission. As my little brother said earlier, Lambda's guild hall is short-handed, and with Moo being the closest, well, we offered our help. We'll make this quick so you all can go watch landfall. The first time seeing one is always special. She tosses a small orb on the ground that begins to project a map in the air. On it, you see what appears to be tunnels. Surface scans indicate that a network is underground, with a few bits close enough to the surface that we are actually worried that they'll be opened up in impact. So if anything is living down there, it's going to be scared, so we need to proceed with caution. So Team 5, she turns to the team next to you, you'll be in charge of sweeping the surface and being our tether. Teams 3 and 7 will be underground. We know this area is home to several goblin tribes, so you can come across, so if you come across any, try goblin first. If none of you know it, just try and stick with common. It's still pretty used, even pre-shattering era. So initial scrying also shows that a very large fungal network is underground, so we don't need to worry about breathable air. The smell, however, is going to be another thing. So we're going to need to sweep the tunnels to confirm initial scans. If contact is made, attempt diplomacy, and identify any possible threats to the tribes that will be moving back there to their ancestral lands. Any questions? Crickets? Crickets? All right. So go ahead and head up to observation deck, watch landfall and be ready, and we make landfall in a few hours. After that, we'll help with base camp before moving out. The crowd begins to break apart, and the four of you find yourselves alone for the first time since the boarding vessel.
How lucky are we? We get to go underground right away.
Oh.
Yeah, I suppose.
As the crowd begins to break apart and you find yourselves alone for the first time, and you're chatting amongst yourself, you're going to hear an alarm that goes off. And the four of you make your way to the observation deck. Expanding in all directions is a sight few get to see in their lifetime. A seemingly endless sea of stars and voids stretch out in every direction. Below you floats a broken shell of a proud planet, orbiting what appears to be a maw endlessly hungering, pulling just enough on the continental islands that they never escape, but never strong enough to actually achieve its apparent goal. So as you take in your surroundings, a voice calls over the intercom. Stasis tower, beginning preparation for landfall, starboard side. To your right, you can see a recon vessel. It's a strange-looking U-shaped ship that has a large crystal in the center. Crystal begins to rotate, and you can see a large drill on the lower third of the tower pointing towards the satellite. The tower detaches from the ship and begins to fall, gaining speed, and as it falls, it spins towards the island until contact, embedding itself in the island. The crystal begins to glow and crackle to life, and a moment later, a dome of faint energy expands out from the tower, slowly engulfing more and more of the land. As the dome appears to solidify, the intercom cackles back to life. Stasis dome setup complete. Prepare for docking. All hands to stations, and let's make this smooth. I was expecting y'all to talk a lot more. So
we're stolid like that, stoic,
yep.
ready to go on our adventure.
Everyone's going for the stoic, quiet hero. We'll just make
this. You know how much you wanted a party of edgelords.
Yeah, right? Here I am being like, all right, cool. I got all of my talkative friends and family members and like loved ones. It's going to be great. There's going to be so much RP. Hannah here is going to be from the artisan branch. Ember, our stoic warrior, is going to probably be from the martial branch. Roga, you're probably going to be from the arcane branch, is the most applicant for you. And then Tori would probably be, Valindra would probably be from either the exploration branch or the martial branch as well. And here, I'll give you guys a quick rundown. So the arcane branch is in charge of all arcane and magic related things. This includes divine, of course. They are the ones who are kind of working with the artisan branch mostly for arcanotech research. The leader of them does hold the title of Magus. So martial branch is in charge of the guild's muscle and training. It's also in charge of the logistics and upkeep of manpower. So martial branch is headed by the bulwark title holder. Artisan branch is in charge of all mercantile affairs as well as arming and maintaining the guild. They also work hand in hand with the arcane tech for arcanotech creation. This branch interacts and bleeds into the others the most and is led by the title holder quartermaster. And then exploration branch is in charge of the branch's fleet, as well as any reclamation missions the guild may have. The exploration branch is in charge of new recruits and onboarding as well. And the head branch is the title holder of Wayfarer. And then, aside from the 4 leaders of the branches, each guild association has a 5th member that acts on the council. And as head of the council, they are the matriarch, patriarch, or thetriarch. And they kind of serve as the swing vote. So if any... And for the stasis drop ship that you saw, or the recon vessel that was had the stasis tower on it, think of like early 1920s U-boats. Like it's very much that like iron construction, but it just has a U kind of in it so that it can carry what it needs to carry through the air. The old U-boats.
The old literal U-boats.
Mm-hmm. That was the pun intended with that.
I wasn't sure if that's what you meant or not.
No, you were correct. It was a very, very subtle and shitty pun that I decided to throw in there because I couldn't think of how it would actually manipulate and carry the crystal all in one, and I was like, oh.
That took me a minute.
Thank you for catching up.
I'm okay with that one.
All right. So we have our 4 then. We've got one in each, and that works pretty well.
Well rounded.
Yep, it's almost like I designed it that way.
Wow.
All right. And then I just
That man sure has his leg bent at such an angle to get it up on that desk.
I tried to get it under the desk, and I was just like, I give up. Fuck this shit.
Asserting dominance.
Yep.
Look how high I can raise my knee.
I actually message, And I will see you all in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Okay.
Great.